Today, yoga in the garden. Have our usual construction. But it looks like my neighbors decided to get to this game. So it might be a little difficult to hear me. I'll try to speak up so that you can hear me. Let's try to practice. And I know in the past I've talked about the sounds, the barking dogs, and the construction as being a distraction or a challenge. It's kind of a metaphor for where a lot of us are doing. That we're trying to maintain and cultivate a certain amount of inner peace, but there's also external factors that we have no control over that we have to still sit in, that we can't change. The only thing we can really change is our experience of it, which isn't easy. Um, it's very frustrating. So not to, I personally believe that the practice isn't about overcoming our humanness. So recognizing that you're getting annoyed or frustrated, but not necessarily identifying as being just that. To recognize that it, like most of our emotional states, are passing. And hopefully, like the sounds, like the grinding metal and the vacuuming, will also be transient and impermanent. Although at the time of the discomfort, it feels bad, especially if you're living in pain. Pain can seem, especially chronic pain, can seem all the time. But there is moments where it's not, and moments where you get more relief, and also the incredible ability of the body to heal itself. That sounds like a good segue to tell you that this class is your class. So if you are dealing with injury, if something is too much for your body, you're welcome to take breaks, leave things out, and modify to your needs. So let's start on our back today. Janika, I still don't see your video. If you want to turn on your video, it'd be very useful to see what you're doing. Maybe you're too shy. We'll start with our knees bent, feet hip width apart, and turn your palms to the sky. Close your eyes. Take a moment to feel your breath, to hear around you, both pleasant and bothersome. And start to inhale and exhale as deep as you can. Feel the chest rise and fall. We're trying to keep the belly still and really move the lungs with the breath. Check in with your body. How does your body feel this morning? Also observing the mind. Observing how well you slept. You feel well slept, well rested. Keep breathing. We'll start with some simple movement exercises. With your inhale, open your eyes. And with your exhale, hug the knees into your chest. Inhale, slowly allowing the feet to come down. And exhale, knees into chest. Now as the feet drop down, try not to curve or arch the low back. Keep it pressing downwards. Exhale, the slower you do this, the more you're going to build strength. Another way of thinking it is keeping the distance from the low ribs to the hips a short distance. So you don't want to let the low back lift. Hopefully you can see that. Pressing it down. Let's keep moving with the breath. We'll do 5 more. Very good. Keeping the feet on the ground now, feet hip width apart, we'll do a moving bridge. Since we're still warming the body, don't expect to lift the hips high. Inhale, we're lifting. And exhale, slowly place the hips back down. Slow and controlled. Inhale, you're lifting. And exhale down. And let's do 8 more, thinking of this as breath work. 2 more. And we'll keep the hips on the ground. And make sure the feet are still hip width apart, feet not together. Start to swing your knees side to side. You know, in truth, I rarely hear them vacuum, but this morning they're vacuuming. And we'll allow the knees to fall to the right, and you can look to the left. If you want to go deeper, take the bottom foot and place it on the top knee. If that's too much, then just keep the legs separate. And uncross your legs. Inhale, knees come back to center. Make sure the feet are still hip width apart. Exhale, let your knees fall to the left and look to the right with the option to take the bottom foot and place it on the top. Two more breaths. And uncross the legs. Inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, roll to your right side. And we'll bring ourselves up to tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's do some cat-cows. Inhale, lifting the chest, arching the low back. And then exhale around the spine. Inhale, the chest. And exhale. Keep moving with the breath. We're breathing through the nose. The breath is slightly audible. Breathe in and out through the nose. So commonly people exhale through the nose. Make sure you're breathing through the nose the whole time. Unless you're congested, maybe the Sahara dust is making you stuffy. Just 3 more. Inhale to neutral spine. Let's warm up our core by bringing the forearms to the ground. Touch your toes. And then inhale, lift the knees just slightly off the mat. We're staying for 5 breaths. Now this might be too much for your body. If that's the case, you can drop your knees and then come back to lifting the knees. 3 more smooth breaths. And exhale, drop the knees down to the ground. Inhale back to tabletop. Let's continue to work our core. Inhale, extend your right leg and then left arm. Now, if that's too much to do both, you can just do the legs. Exhale, elbow to leg variation. Exhale, knee to nose. Let's do about 8 more on this side. This being a yoga practice, try to stay with the breath. So you see this exercise in other forms of physical activity, but let's keep it nice and slow for the rhythm or with the rhythm of the breath. Two more. This one we're going to touch and hold. Touch and hold it. 3 breaths here. Pull the elbow and the knee up towards your belly. And exhale, hands and knees to the ground. Let's come to our next side. Inhale, extend your left leg. Option to extend the right arm or keep it on the ground. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Some more vacuuming for you. Exhale, breathe with the vacuum. 8 more. Last one. Touching elbow to knee and holding. And inhale, hands and knees to the ground. Let's come to floating table again. Starting to warm up that core, forearms to the ground. Touch your toes. And inhale, lift the knees. 5 smooth breaths. And exhale, drop the knees back down. We'll make our way back to tabletop position. Tuck your toes. Exhale, coming to our first down dog. Keep those knees bent. Lift your bum to the sky. You can pedal the heels or bend one knee a little bit more next. Swinging the hips a little side to side. With your inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, we'll step the right foot forward. Now, if it's hard to get it up there, you can catch the ankle to pull it up, or you can come to standing to step the foot up. Start to come to just fingertips and feel the legs working rather than the arms supporting. Pull the belly up, and we'll bring our hands beside us. Feel the breath moving the lungs. 3 more breaths. Exhale, hands come down to the ground, left fingertips on the mat, and then right hand to the hips. Make sure you're lifting this back knee, pushing out to the back heel. So commonly we tend to bend that. And again, most of the strength, most of the support is coming through the legs. Very little weight on the left hand. Right hand can stay on the hip or extend the arm up. And exhale, both hands come down to the ground. Let's step back to high plank. Let's see if we can hold plank for 3 breaths. If this is too much for your body, drop your knees. You might want to brush off some ants if you have ants on you. And exhale to down dog. Inhale, we're lifting the left leg. And steps forward. Back heel stays here. Start to come to just the fingertips. Firm up the legs or push into the feet. And inhale, lift the chest. Trying to pull the belly a little bit off the thigh, even if you have a belly that sticks out and it's resting on the thigh, that action of pulling it up to engage our core. Ants. Few more breaths. And exhale. Right fingertips on the mat. Left hand to your hip. Turn your chest towards that front leg. Left hand can stay on the hip or extend the arm up. Again, feel the legs working. Lift the back knee, lift the back hip. And exhale, hands come down to the ground, front foot steps back. Inhale to high plank. Let's drop our knees for the transition. Exhale, lower all the way down. Coming into Cobra Pose with our hands below the shoulders. Inhale, you're lifting your chest. And exhale, lower yourself back down. Again, inhale, lifting the chest. And exhale, back down. Let's do about 4 more of these. Hardly using the hands, lifting the low back muscles more to lift. So you're not coming that high. Very good. With our next exhale, we'll come back. Inhale the flat back, draw the hands up the shin, toes. And then exhale, fold forward. We'll do 2 more like that. Inhale, long spine, long legs. And exhale. Inhale, long spine and legs. And exhale. We'll bend the knees. Inhale, arms and chest come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms float up. Let's find a little back bend, but keep the chin up. And then exhale, you're bending your knees, folding forward. Inhale the flat back, draw the hands up the shins, look to the toes. And exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees. Inhale, arms, chest come back up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do 2 more of that. Inhale, find that little back bend, even if it's a micro back bend. Bend the knees, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Hands could even be on your knees if that's where your flexibility is. Exhale, fold forward, keep the legs straight. Bend your knees, inhale, arms and chest come up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale first, then move, arms float up. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale the flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Bend the knees, inhale, arms and chest come up. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll add on to this. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, palms flat, step back, high plank. Big inhale here. Let's drop our knees for the chaturanga. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to Cobra, or if it's ready for you in the practice, up dog, which is arms straight, knees and hips are lifted in this position. And then exhale to down dog, hips to the sky. You're welcome to keep the knees bent in this down dog position if you don't feel warm or if it feels like it's pulling on the low back. You're still going to stretch the hamstrings when the knees are bent. It just gives you an opportunity to tilt the pelvis, tilt the sit bones to the sky to establish the natural low back curve, which we want to see in this position. We don't want the pelvis tucked forward. And inhale, bend your knees a little more, looking forward. Exhale, walk the feet to your hands. Inhale, the flat back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, folding forward. You're bending the knees. Inhale, arms, chest come up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Bueno, let's big toes together, squeeze the knees. Inhale. Exhale, sit yourself down. Inhale, arms float up. Let's move just the arms now. Exhale, hands behind the low back. Inhale, arms float up. Again, exhale, hands behind the back. Inhale, arms float up. Let's do 5 more. If you can sit lower. I'm moving with my breath. Squeeze those knees. 2 more. With our exhale, folding forward. Exhale, palms flat, step back, high plank. Inhale here. Option to drop the knees. I'll keep them lifted. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, Cobra or up dog. And then exhale to down dog. Inhale, our right leg lifts. Let's keep that right leg lifted. 5 breaths here. Keep breathing. With your exhale, step the right foot forward. Again, if it's hard to get that foot up there, you can catch the ankle and pull it up. Inhale, hands to hips. We'll bend the back knee. Tuck the pelvis forward. Keeping that pelvic tilt, push out through the heel. Here again, we tend to be most mobile in the lower part of the spine, the low back. We're not collapsing it. There's a lot of integrity with the core. Still very challenging for me, even years after practice, to keep this engaged. Shortening the distance from the low ribs to the hips. With that going on, and pushing out to the back heel, inhale, arms float up to the sky. And you notice my back leg isn't completely straight, that's fine. As long as legs are working, pelvis forward. 4 more breaths. And exhale, hands come down to the ground. If you've had enough of the chaturangas, you can go straight to down dog. Otherwise, inhale, high plank. Option to drop knees. I'll drop my knees this time. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale to down dog. Very good. Inhale, left leg lifts. And let's hold that leg. Exhale, step the left foot forward, back heel stays lifted. And inhale, hands to hips, lifting the chest. Exhale, bend your back knee, tuck the pelvis forward. Keeping the pelvic tilt, push up to the heel. Inhale, arms float up to the sky. Three more breaths. Exhale, both hands come down to the ground. Again, you can skip the chaturanga, go straight to down dog, or exhale, step the front foot back. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lowering yourself down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale to down. Now, as my body warms, as your body warms, just notice the difference in the postures. Maybe you can see that dragonfly, Sati Manza, as they call it in Trinidad. Not the heels down, starting to straighten the leg. But again, we're always making modifications to suit our body's needs, and our body's needs change from day to day. It's not like if you figure out how to do the splits for the rest of your life, you're going to be able to do the splits. For some of us, it takes a lot of warming to get to these postures. With our inhale, we're bending the knees, looking forward. Exhale, walk the feet to your hands. Inhale, a flat back, lengthening your spine. And exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, sit yourself down. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, coming to stand. All right. So let's try eagle pose. Feet are hip width apart. If you're on uneven ground as I am, you may want to find a spot that feels a little more stable. So rooting down through our right foot, and then take the left foot and try to wrap it. And I'm not very warm this morning, so probably not expecting that foot to get behind the ankle. For some of us, that's very easy. For some of us, that shin might be lifted slightly. Yeah? And if balance is really bad today or wobbly today, keep both feet on the ground like so. Inhale, arms float up. You're bringing the left elbow underneath right. Wrapping the arms, look at one spot on the ground, sit low. Four more breaths here. And inhale, let's come out of this. Step the feet hip width apart, turn the palms forward. We're coming into mountain pose. For this, closing the eyes, feel the feet on the ground, breathing. Inhale, opening the eyes. We're coming onto the left leg now, which is my challenge side. So again, make sure you've got a good even ground, feeling the feet connect, bend the knees, shift over to the left leg and lift the right, wrapping the legs. Squeezing the shins. Keep looking at one spot. Inhale, arms float up. Right elbow underneath left. Twist tie the arms. Catch the hands. Sit low. See if we can make 5 breaths. So part of the learning process of balance postures is falling out of it. So if you're falling out, that is part of learning. Three more breaths, perhaps sit a little lower. And inhale, we're undoing, step the feet hip width apart. And exhale, pause. Let's come to the front of our mat if we're not there already. Inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, step the left foot back and bending into the front knee. We're coming into warrior 2. And once you get there, you may just a little bit. With your exhale, place the right forearm to the thigh. Inhale, left hand comes to the back of the head. Roll the elbow back, the shoulder back. You could stay with the left hand on the head or even on the hip if you're dealing with shoulder issues. Inhale, let's extend the left arm up. And then exhale, reach it over. Fingertips reaching. Again, feel your legs working, pushing into the feet. To the point where you can almost lift this hand off the thigh. And for the last 3 breaths, if you want to try, extending the bottom arm parallel with the top, keep rolling the top shoulder back. Our core, working the muscles that stabilize the sacrum as well. Inhale back to warrior 2. Exhale, we'll pivot on the heels to face the next direction and sink into the left. With your exhale, left forearm to the thigh and right hand to the back of the head. Inhale, roll the top elbow back, top shoulder back. Exhale, extend the arm. Now remember, you can keep that head on the hip or in the head if you'd like. And with your next exhale, extend that top arm forward. Again, you don't have to lift this forearm off the thigh, but you want to feel the legs working for that potential to happen. If you did it on the other side, last 3 breaths, let's extend the bottom arm. And firm your belly. Inhale. Bring yourself back up. I think I shortened it more than 3 breaths, but that's okay. Turn the heels in, toes out. Exhale, sink into the knees. Goddess pose. Hands can stay on the hips. Or bringing the arms up. Helicopter. 2 more breaths. And exhale, coming to straight legs. Let's come into triangle pose. So right foot is facing forward, left foot turns in slightly. You may want to shorten your stance a little bit so the legs are about the length of a leg apart. And heels in one line. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, reaching forward. And then right hand to the shins. Now floating the hand to the inside of the ankle, left arm up. Again, if you're dealing with shoulder issues, hands to the head. Four more breaths here. A lot of people think that triangle shape is the legs. I've been told this is the triangle shape you want. So you don't want to drop the torso too much. You want to keep the torso somewhat parallel with the ground. And firming the belly, inhale, bring yourself back up. Keep the feet where they are and just pivot on the heels to face the toes next direction. Inhale, arms float up, keeping the legs straight. Exhale, reaching forward, and then hand to shin. Right arm up to the sky or variations of hands on hips head or shoulder. Gaze or up to the sky. 4 more breaths. Here comes the sun. And exhale, we're all looking down from the belly. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Revisiting goddess pose, turn the heels in, toes out. Exhale, bend the knees, sit low. Hands can stay on the hips, or bring the arms up. Maybe you can see on the video, it's hard for me to talk and breathe at the same time. I'm going to do 4 more breaths, really moving the lungs. And exhale to straight legs, turn the toes forward. Inhale, step your feet. With our next inhale, open the hip width apart, arms float up. We'll catch the left wrist with right hand. And exhale, lean to your right, pulling the top arm straight. It's a nice way to decompress the little bones in the wrists, the carpals. Using the breath to stretch the ribs here. And inhale, bring yourself back up, changing hands on wrists. Catch the right wrist. And exhale, leaning to the left. Be careful you're not rolling the top shoulder forward. That shoulder should be rolling back. Gaze could either be forward, down, or looking up. And inhale, coming back up. Let's do that again. Catch the left wrist. Take the left leg and reach it around behind the right leg. And then exhale, leaning to the right, pulling the top arm and sending the left hip outwards. You may be cut off soon, and I'll start the next Zoom meeting shortly if that happens. Inhale, coming back to center. Hip width apart, change the hands on the wrists. Let's step the right foot behind the left. And then leaning to the left. And breathe. Two more breaths. And inhale, coming back to center. Step the feet hip width apart, place the hands behind the low back. So we're coming into a back bend. With back bends, keep the chin tucked in. And we're lifting more from the sternum, the chest bone. Bend your tail down, weight in heels. Inhale, lift the heart up and back. Notice my chin is still tucked in. If you're looking at the screen, you should be able to see me still. 3 more breaths. Pull the belly in. Inhale, bring yourself up. All right, we're going to do 2 more of those. Again, if you're feeling this in the low back, you've gone too far. We're looking for more engagement and stretch of the belly, the front body muscles. Yeah. Second set, hands on the hips. Or if you prefer, weaving the fingers and extending the arms, you can do that. I'm going to stay with hands on hips. We've got 2 more sets. Send the tail down. Inhale, lift the chest. Keeping the chin tucked in. And inhale, bringing yourself back up. We've got 1 more set I'm going to do with arms extended, but if you prefer hands on your low back, you can keep them there. Weave the fingers. Inhale, lifting the arms, lifting the chest. Still, my chin is tucked in, looking forward, holding 4 breaths. Mucho ruido. All right, inhale, coming back up. And exhale, step the feet hip width apart. Let's come into a squat now. So exhale, bending the knees. Sit low. Actually, Anik, I think because it's just one person on Zoom today, but it probably will continue. So stay with us now. So this is a little bit of strengthening for abductors. Adductors also the muscles that help stabilize the sacrum. So hands to prayer. If this is really hard for you, you can widen the feet. For some of us, the heels will be lifted in this posture as well. That's fine. I'm pressing out with the elbows and in with the knees. Using about 50 or 60% of my strength. But I find I beat my body a little bit, especially with the squeeze. And release. We'll take the hands now to the outside of the knees. Press the knees out and press the hands in. 5 breaths here. And release. Let's repeat that one again. So hands to prayer. Squeeze the knees in. Push out with the elbows. More breaths. And then changing, bring the hands to the outside of the knees. Press the knees out. Very good. So release. We bring the hands behind us. So I wanted to give a little more attention to neck and shoulders today. So we're going to go some deeper stretches in that today. If you want to sit on a block, sit with legs long, or even in a chair for this portion, you're welcome to. Otherwise, legs crossed. Here's my practice. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. We'll press the left hand down into the ground. Reach around with the right. Without pulling, I'm dropping the right ear down as I press down with the left hand. And let's do 4 breaths here. And inhale back to center. Push down to the right hand. Reach around with the left. Catching the opposite side and drop the left ear down as you press the right hand. And inhale, coming back up. So we're doing this head retraction. Let me show you the profile. Straight back without dropping the chin or lifting it. So like you're creating a triple. So draw the head back and release. You don't have to stick it down to neutral. I'm going to do about 9 more of these. Again, pull the head back. You don't need the hand. You can place the hand to the side. And release. The last 7. Again, I'll show you the profile. Pull it back. And release. I'm looking to straighten the back of the neck here. Pull it back. We'll make it 4 more. Last one, pull it in. Very good. So now we'll weave the fingers together, bring the hands to the back of the head. Drop your chin in, draw the elbows together. Don't pull with the hands, just using the weight of the arms and the head to give the stretch. Tuck the chin in. And inhale, bringing yourself back up. Weaving the fingers now behind the back. And we'll sneak the hands over to the side so it pokes out to one side. If that doesn't happen, then maybe the hands more behind the low back, but pulling it to one side. And then exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Try not to tip your torso, keep the straight spine. Inhale to center, keep your hands as they are. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. And inhale to center, we'll change sides, bring the hands over to the next side. Maybe the hands poke out, or maybe just hand on low back. Inhale, sit up tall, left ear to left shoulder. Again, notice if you're lifting one shoulder, try to keep them somewhat even. Coming back up. Let's open those shoulders just a little bit more. Hands behind us, knees bent. We'll bend the elbows, lift the low back and lift the chest. Now, if you're not feeling a stretch here, slide the hips forward and keep lifting the chest. Bend those elbows. And exhale, release. We'll extend the legs. Coming into a seated pigeon, place your left ankle over right knee, and then we're bending the right leg. Here again, lifting the low back, lifting the chest. If you're not feeling a stretch, slide the hips a bit closer towards the foot. For some of us, we're very open in the hips, and if you're not feeling anything, you could also cradle the leg. But if you're cradling the leg and really rounding the spine to make that happen, stay with the first variation. If you're able to lift the low back while cradling the leg, you can. I'm getting a stretch in this variation, so I'll stay with this today. Four more breaths. We'll keep the legs crossed, but extend the right leg straight. Place the left foot to the outside of the right leg. Left hand behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. And then twisting, hugging the knee, or elbow to the outside of the knee. Let's start by looking back. Take a good inhale, and then exhale, look forward. And inhale, come out of the twist, extending both legs. Let's change sides. So right ankle on left knee, and then we're bending the left knee. To deepen the chest, we'll slide the hips forward. You can also straighten the leg and cradle the leg like a baby. Keep lifting the chest, lifting the heart. Breathe. And very good. We're coming out of this by extend your left leg, right foot to the outside of the left leg, right hand behind you, inhale, set up tall, exhale, twisting, hugging the knee, first variation, or elbow to the outside of the knee. With your inhale, look behind you, and then exhale, look forward. Keep lifting the low back. And inhale, coming forward, extend both legs. We're going to make our way to our back, coming into happy baby. Bring the arms to the inside of the knees, press the low back down. And exhale, release. We're coming to our final pose, Shavasana. You can lay on the ground on your back, with the palms facing up, or use a chair. I'm going to use a chair, so I'm just going to grab that and come right back. You could use a chair or a couch if you're close by, even your bed, where you're placing your legs up on the chair. If you don't have a prop or you prefer to lay on your back in regular Shavasana with legs long on the mat, you can. Hands by your side, palms facing up. Gaze is straight up to the sky. Draw the chin in slightly. And then close your eyes once you find your ideal position. We're going to stay here for 5 minutes. Release what you can release. The breath is even soft. Start to deepen your breath, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. If your legs are on a chair or a prop, draw the knees in toward your chest. Let's all roll to our right side. And then using the hands to bring yourself up to a seated position. Sit up nice and tall, hands to prayer. Let's finish our practice with 2 breaths to the heart. Come to the bottom of your exhale. Together we inhale and exhale. And exhale. One last one. Inhale deep. And exhale. Thank you for joining me in Yoga in the Gardens every Friday. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to leave them in the comments. I hope to see you next Friday. Be so loud, but again, there's not always control of our external environment. Have a blessed day. Namaste.